Target Chronicles Part 1. You know what I'm saying? It's time to get into the bag. It's time to get into it. It's time for me to step out and do what I do. You know what I mean? Now that all the BS and the truth has come to the light, now it's time for me to step back onto the field. You know what I mean? So this is the part where I tell y'all about some of the experiences I've had inside that place. You know what I mean? So like I was telling y'all yesterday, I had to go in there and create my diversion. And let me tell y'all something by just reading the comments. If y'all believe, if they believe that I'm a snitch, that I know it's working. I know it's working because if I could get y'all, um, and I'm not talking about everybody, I'm talking about just the ones that be in the comment box. If I could get them to believe that I'm a snitch, then I know that the corporation believe that I'm working with them. You know what I'm saying? They don't really know that I'm working against these niggas. You know what I mean? So I make it look good. I make it look good. You know what I mean? Make it look easy. So I go in there and I had to create my diversion. And based off all the information that I got, like I said, I got to observe with my own two eyes what I see in the workplace. So one of the first things that I noticed right off the bat is just like everybody is in a relationship inside of that place. You know what I mean? And number two, it is a female dominant store, which means majority of the leadership in there were women, white women. You know what I'm saying? I could see if it was white. It's one thing to have white women and white men. You know what I'm saying? Dominating the workplace. Okay, cool. But when you just got all white women, I feel like it's a problem. I feel like it's a problem. They're gonna get a little, power happy. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm just calling it how I see it. You know what I mean? That's just how I see it. And so there was maybe three of us, including myself, that were male team leads. Um, Two white males, and I was the only nigga in there. You know what I mean? Outside of that, it was female dominant. Like store leader was, white lady. Majority of the leaders in the front, sales floor, back room, white women. You feel what I'm saying? So that was one of the things that struck me as odd and, was a red flag to begin with. So going back to the relationships in the store, I noticed that there was a team lead and a team member having a relationship in the store, and it was obvious. It was so obvious. So I had to think back to what Mike HR manager Mike said during the orientation, and he said that we know target love happens. All we ask is that you do not date your direct supervisor. That's all he said. So this leader was over the hard lines department, which means she's over women's clothing. She's over women's clothing, and he is a team member in the electronics department. And when I say it's obvious that they were dating, it was obvious. And I feel like, me personally, it was unprofessional the way that they were doing things at work on the clock. You know, like these niggas holding hands on the clock, these niggas smooching and taking their lunches and breaks together, which is fine. That part is fine. But when you get the holding hands and smooching on the clock, like, come on now. Come on now. We running a business over here, right? Like, how is this okay? And everybody okay with it? I'm looking around and I'm verifying, I'm confirming that the team leaders physically see this. I can see them holding hands and doing all this, and the team leads ain't doing nothing about it. Team leads ain't doing nothing about it. I'm gonna hold it like this because that glare try to sneak its way into the video, and I feel like the devil don't want me to speak my piece, but it's gonna happen today. It's gonna happen today. Um, so yeah, that was one of the things that struck me as odd. And being inside. this line of work, you tend to gather a lot of information, a lot of information. And so, of course, I got my TSS, I have my ETL. They gonna give me the game on who I need to be watching, who's in here doing what. You feel me? So I got that to work with. So as I'm starting this new position, she's filling me in on what's up, how they do things, the day to day, how to do the video, how to log in, this and that, etc., etc. Now, this is where things get very interesting, y'all, because this is when I knew, I knew there was more than enough things going in this place to, use something to test their integrity. You know what I mean? So my ETL begins to tell me about the female that I was dating before I even met her, before we even got involved. So this is kind of like on some, you know, backstory type shit. Like before me and her even got involved, I already knew about her because of the rumors. You know what I'm saying? And the ETL, I feel like was just like on some. She didn't like nobody, for real, for real. So she was telling me how she was a drama queen, how her and the female that I was dating had not gotten along when they first started this job. You know, they got history, bad history. They did not get along. They was always at each other's throats, this and that and the fourth. And I was like, oh, okay. And at this time, I didn't know who she was. I never seen her. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, okay, cool. Mental note. You know what I mean? And so when I finally see her, I was like, yep. You know how you can look at people and be like, yeah, I can see it. You know what I'm saying? Like, by the way, and it wasn't just looks alone, it was just by how she was acting, you know what I mean, and how she was talking to people. I was like, oh yeah, this is gonna be fun. This is gonna be fun right here. So I was like, all right, cool. Mental note. Now I got my TSS at the time. He feeling me on Gabe. He put me on Gabe about everything that's going in the store with everybody, including the ETL. You feel me? Like, yeah, we're not getting no apprehensions. She don't want to never get nobody. She been telling me she's gonna promote me type shit, and she ain't done it yet. You know what I'm saying? So he irritated, he frustrated. You know what I'm saying? Because they keep making promises to him that they not, following up on. So he hot about that, and they not getting nobody. So he bored at the same time, and he's young and full of energy. Young and full of energy and want to smoke. You feel me? Ain't nothing worse than a young Thundercat who is willing to get out here and get in the mix and handle business, but he can't because his hands is tied because he doesn't have the authority to do so. That is the worst thing you can have because them type. And I'm not saying it's a bad thing, but it is a bad thing because these people, these type of youngins, they tend to jump the gun a little too soon. You know what I mean? They're not taking their time. They in the rush to do things. You know what I mean? And that's how they end up messing up when they start rushing stuff. They get out here. You know what I'm saying? I appreciate the enthusiasm. You know what I mean? I do. As a trainer, there's nothing I love more than somebody that is willing to learn, willing to put in that work. But sometimes you got to pipe down. You got to pipe down, calm down, and take it day by day. So he hot because he bored. You feel me? So he's filling me in on that. He's happy that I'm there because now we can finally start getting some bodies in the building. We can start putting some numbers up on the stat sheet because this store was hurting. This store was hurting. They was at the bottom before I got there. According to what I saw, they was at the bottom. You know what I mean? And so I got there and it was time to rock and roll. Kick it ass and take it day is my first day. You know what I'm saying? First day on the job. first day on the job, kick it ass and take it A's. You feel me? And so internally, these were the things that I observed, and I knew it was a problem. I knew it was toxic because of this. You know, you got a TSS who's willing and wanting to become an APS, but he can't because the females are holding him back because of whatever reasons. Um, she feel like he ain't ready. Honestly, ain't nobody ever ready. If you ask me, ain't nobody ever gonna be ready for this job. Sometimes you just got to get in here and get it. You know what I mean? That's why when I train people, I throw them out there. Day one, I throw them out there. Yeah, we ain't gonna just put our feet in the water. We diving straight on in. You know what I'm saying? Period. So, like me personally, I feel like she was holding him back on some other shit. It wasn't just because that was pretext. What she told me, she felt like he wasn't ready. I feel like there was something else behind it, personally, because I felt like he was ready. I've trained dozens and dozens of APs, and let me tell you something. The ones that shouldn't be here are still in the game. So he couldn't have did no worse than anybody else that I worked with or trained. Um, so you got that. You got a all female team who is running things and abusing their authority day in, day out. You got team leaders who are making fun of the ADA community in front of their face, mind you, in front of their face. We had a and this handicapped woman. She worked in the cafe. You know how Target got their little cafe. She worked over there, and she was cross-eyed. You know, she had disabilities, and this particular team leader would go in front of her and order food and cross her eyes and imitate her in front of her. I'm not lying. Anybody that know anything about ADA community, you do not play with them people. You do not play with that community. I promise you. And I learned more about this as a bus driver. What, man? Please, them people ain't playing when it comes to the ADA. I promise you. So when you talk about liability, that was a liability alone. That team leader treating her like that on a day to day basis. And that was one of the things I don't like. You know what I mean? I do not like bullies in the workplace. I don't. I do not like bullies in the workplace. Especially and you got authority? Nah. So that rubbed me in the wrong way. So I knew from that point on, I was like, all right, God, now I know why you got me here. We got a lot of work to do. And it ain't just catching shoplifters. There's a lot of internal work in here that need to be done. You feel me? That needs to be done. And I want all of it. I want all the smoke. I want every bit of it. This was a task that I needed. This is something that I wanted. Because, like I said, I got bored being AP. So, this is what I wanted right here. The perfect opportunity to rattle the system a little bit, test their policies, test their integrity and core values that they say that they stand on. I was going to use all this to my benefit, to my advantage. And before I get out of here, because I got to talk to the culture real quick, I got to talk to my people. Sometimes we feel like because of the color of our skin, we have a disadvantage in the workplace. And I'm going to tell you here right now that is the biggest advantage that you have in the workplace. Why? I'm going to tell you why. I told you that this store was not diverse, ran by all white female leaders. I'm the only nigga in that store. Life experiences taught me that no matter where I go, they're always going to treat me the same. So, me going into this, I knew me being who I am, I felt like I was just there just to fill the spot until they could, get a good squad. So, in the back of my head, I'm like, I know they're going to come for me because I'm black. I know they're going to come for me at some point, whether it be, attendance, it could be performance, which I will never let happen. Ain't nobody going to ever outwork me in this sector. You feel me? It could be any little thing, you know what I'm saying? Evaded apprehension gone bad, like they could pick any little thing um to get rid of me. So I need as much insurance as I can get. So when the time comes, I'm ready. You feel what I'm saying? I'm ready. But one thing I can put my last dollar on is that they gonna come for me because I'm black. Because I'm black. And because of the area that I'm in, I've been out here way too long to know better. I'm in Thornton. I ain't never been to Thornton. I mean, like, I don't know nothing about Thornton. And you know what I'm saying? And from what I can see, ain't no niggas out here barely, if any at all. You feel me? Yeah, this is gonna be a shit show, but I ain't never backing down from a mission, from a fight. You know what I'm saying? God gave me an assignment. This is what I'm here to do. I'm here to come and rattle the system. And I'm gonna use everything that I see, all the intelligence, all the intelligence that I've gained from other people to do it. Just right there, right at the beginning, just based off what I told y'all, that alone gave me more than what I needed to do what I needed to do in the workplace. You feel me? People coming up to me, telling me what to watch, who to watch, what's going on within my first week. I got my ETL talking about a team leader who is a drama queen who she never got along with, how they had this long term beef, you know what I'm saying? So I got that to watch, which is gonna make the workplace toxic. And y'all know how women is when y'all get around other females. This is how I know it was gonna be uh, a crazy workplace. You know what I mean? And then I got my TSS talking about the ETL, you know, how he's not getting opportunities that he need and won't. Like I got everybody telling on everybody to me, like crazy, crazy. But it's cool though, because I'm gonna work with all that starting off. But it was just it's crazy because I felt like on Walmart, working for Walmart and working for Target, two separate type of vibes, man. Two separate type of vibes. Um, and I feel like with Target, they feel like, they shit don't stink. You know what I mean? Like they try to act all goody two shoes and shit. You know what I mean? And that's when I was like, yeah, I got y'all. I got you. I got y'all. Y'all make it all. I got you because y'all trying to make it seem like, oh yeah, we good, we classy, we this, we that. Really, there's a lot of darkness behind these closed doors.